All right, today I'm going to talk about the differences in multifamily and assisted living projects. I mean, I did talk for the last couple of days. What is the difference? But today I'm going to go deeper in terms of what you should and should not expect as an investor. As an investor, typically you come into assisted living project towards the end. Operator has spent significant amount of time on the project already. In multifamily, you get involved as soon as the property is in the contract. Operator start creating the paperwork and the pitch deck because the time limit is short. In assisted living, operator has to go through the hoops, state licensing, all the zoning regulations, and then when they're about to close the deal, at that time they try to bring the deal to the investors because investors don't want to be waiting for longer time period. In multifamily, deals probably can be 70-30 or 80-20. In assisted living, deals could be slightly different, maybe 50-50, maybe 60-40. And the reason for that is operator has to put a lot more risk upfront. Operator has to spend a lot of time trying to put together the deal. And I mean, they need to survive also, and they need to make some money as well. But even with 60-40 or 50-50, the returns from a passive investor standpoint are much higher in assisted living. Multifamily, is more of a, residential product, where, folks are, depends more on the job growth, and the kind of jobs are out there in the market. Assisted living is like everybody's growing. It's purely supply and demand. As long as you have enough aging population, which is going beyond 65, and the supply is limited, assisted living will work. So typically on a project, there is always a feasibility studies done. In multifamily, we just do the appraisal based on the cap rate and NOI of the property, and then lender lends you the money, right? I mean, cap rate, your NOI divided by purchase price is equal to cap rate. So NOI divided by cap rate is equal to purchase price. That's how lender lends you the money. There is no feasibility study that is done in multifamily. But in assisted living, lenders typically want independent feasibility study done in addition to the appraisal, because that feasibility shows how much is the population, how much is aging population, how much of that population may be able to afford assisted living, and how much is the supply in the area. Typically folks don't like to go more than 10-15 miles, kids. And multifamily, while the tenant pays the rent, in assisted living, rent is typically paid by their kids. So it's more about the kids, the income of kids drives the demand for assisted living, because obviously seniors would have less inclination into paying and stuff like that. So the income level of the working class within 10-15 miles radius, and how many seniors are present in that area, all that study is done upfront. And when the business plan is approved by the lender, that's when the lender does give the loan. So two separate asset classes: assisted living versus multifamily. In multifamily, you would typically look for 15% plus AAR. In assisted living, you probably will go, or probably more. I mean, the cash flow is heavy, and once you are successful in one project, you can continue to do that project again and again. Have more, general partners probably take a little bit more in assisted living than in multifamily, probably because assisted living needs more time, more resources, more energy, more risks for general partners from a liability standpoint, and their money is usually stuck longer. So these are my thoughts on assisted living. I will be talking a little bit more as we go along, but talk to you guys again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye now.